Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Uncle Show, and I am your host. My name is Uncle Wilbur, and I will be your host for the next 15 minutes. Within the next 15 minutes, we will be talking about possibly music, video games, movies, motocross, hockey, and anything in between here and there, and everywhere. It's great to be back on air. And all brought to you by the Blitz Morning Show from the Blitz Talks Network. Well, how's it going, everybody? Yes, it's a great, enjoyable day here where I am. I don't know about you guys. Last night, the girlfriend and I were talking about video games. She asked how many people were allowed to play at one time on the 360, and I mentioned four players. And I said the last system that I recall myself that allows somebody to play more than 4 players that I've played on was PlayStation 1. And man, was that a fun time. Hoyman and I, we started playing, and all of a sudden we just started going, getting more people. It was 4-on-4 on NHL 2000 or 2001. Well, it doesn't matter. It was NHL. So it was 4-on-4 hockey. Hoyman versus Wilbur with other people. My team was lighting up the goal score. Halfway through the game, Hoyman threw his controller and said, "I quit." Then Slim himself, he hopped on, scored 2 goals, but by the end it was like 13-3. My team. That was so much fun. Then, of course, everything got stolen and never got reimbursed and nothing like that. Kind of crappy, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and when you got to do what you got to do, but you can't do what you got to do, is because this and that and this and that. No. All right. Yeah. There was a discussion on Facebook that I seen, and it was quite interesting how somebody started talking about video games, and then it kind of branched off to what were some of the best video game systems out there. And the issue with people nowadays, they always have their favorite, which is usually the new one. Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch. And they don't look at the systems that were. They look at what they have now and they go, "Oh yeah, man, I love this system because of this particular game like Call of Duty. Oh, you can't beat Call of Duty." Or today's case, "Oh, it's Fortnite. Oh, man, you got to play Fortnite on this system. It's just absolutely wonderful." I'm not one of those people that will take a look at the system and say, "I like this because it has better graphics, it's smoother, it does this, it does that." I go back and I see what a particular system has done. I know if you take a look at each of the systems that were available at the time, that particular system is a game breaker. And let me explain to you what I mean by game breaker. For example, you have a Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis. Both of them are great. And you're thinking, well, what's so great about them? First of all, Sega Genesis had basically 3 buttons. Oh, crap. Okay, listen to some music, guys.
Woman on the radio talks about revolution when it's already past about
Jesus, it's still going. All right, hang on, guys. Shit. Alrighty, so the reason why I wanted to let you guys go is because there was an RCMP officer that had somebody pulled over. Fun and simple, whatever. Drove past. Next thing you know, boo! Got the berries. So pulled over, and it's because the reader couldn't read my license plate. And the weird thing is I got pulled over not long ago, and they never had any issues. Oh well. If I could, I would wash my van. Alright, so let's throw it back. PlayStation 1, there was a very limited 4-player game, or 8-player games, which absolutely sucked. But tons of 4 players, and that's what I basically survived off of. Is because Hoyman and I, what we did is we'd kind of throw a little bit of a party. Okay, I lied. Basically, it was just him and I. Then when people would phone him, what are you up to? Hoyman would go, man, Wilbur and I were just playing this game. Next, you know, guy comes over. Next, a couple minutes later, another guy comes over. So we'd have a 4-player game. Some of the 4-player games were Crash Bash, Crash Team Racing, hockey, wrestling, Road Rash, Sled Storm. I had over 70 video games, and what I was trying to basically focus on were 4-player games. Because when you have your friends sitting beside you and you're playing 4-player games, it was so much fun. Especially when it comes to like hockey or wrestling or racing car games or things like that. It was more enjoyable. People, of course, you know, they'll say, oh man, GoldenEye was the best. Yes, it was the best, but the sad thing is when you were hiding, people knew where you were because they would just look at your screen. And that was one of the biggest downfalls. Where if you'd get party packs or even sports games, racing car games, you have to focus on your screen. Just because if you pay attention to, say, Wayman's, can't really do anything about it. It's just a screen. Oh, he's there. All right, whatever. I can catch up with him. Or where is he on the ice? Oh, there he is. Not a problem. So it's things like that when you're kind of looking, going, yeah, oh man, that kind of. So, yeah. And then as time goes on, now I remember what it was. It was the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I totally forgot where I was in the conversation because of that RCMP officer. So, alright, so Sega Genesis, 3 buttons. Super Nintendo, that's when they were throwing the bumper buttons. So you have the 4 and the 2 on top, which it was, how would you say it? It was breaking new rules by not having more than 2 or 3, but adding 6 extra buttons. Then if you take a look at that and go even deeper, Sega Genesis had a faster processor than the Super Nintendo, where Sega Genesis actually had the spot where they could have video games as smooth as Earthworm Jim or even Sonic the Hedgehog. The creator of Sonic the Hedgehog took the idea of Sonic from Super Mario Brothers and had it where Sonic was nothing more than speed. So he did a bunch of investigating and found out that Super Nintendo wasn't powerful enough to do what he wanted to do, but the Sega Genesis was, and that's the reason why Sonic the Hedgehog was only on Genesis. Alright, well, my time's almost up, guys. I think we have to cut the talk, move on, and I will catch you later. I don't have a Twitter account at the moment or anything like that. I will probably be back another day, and we can talk about video games, movies, and music. And I have to thank the Blitz Morning Show for allowing us to be on this platform. Talk to you later, guys. Uncle Wilbur out.